you asked us to think about what are we really passionate about in terms of tips. And like I mentioned before, I'm really passionate about getting the writing right, the writing style, where the writing is effective. And the best tip that I got and the best class that I took during my PhD years was with George Gopin. And he has a book, it's called Reader's Expectations. And it's really ingenious, like in the sense that there is a structure to writing. And if you put the words in that structure, first of all, I lost, before I was always, I just procrastinated for a long time before I wrote anything. But then once you learn the structure and where the words go, your logic becomes much more easier and much stronger. Your writing, you become happy writing. And I think it's just so important. And it doesn't, I am from Russia and I'm not a native speaker, but that relates to anybody in our career, because I read research by, writers from everywhere in the world, and they all have the same problem. Sometimes they're just not very effective in their writing. And so Gopin exactly does that, whereby George Gopin is his name. And he came to this, so he has two doctoral degrees. One is in law, where you can see that writing can have, life or death sort of effect. And then the other degree was actually in literature. And so his book, I think just, in terms of the sentences, the paragraphs, the whole paper, and for junior scholars, for anybody really in our career, it's very important to know where you're writing, who you're writing for, right? So like target the journal as well. Go and read multiple articles from the journal before you submit. But also write in the style of the journal, and also write in the style that people can understand, right? So he has the stress position at the very end of the sentence. And then you develop that stress position in the next sentence, and in the next, and then the next. And so it's just much more effective in terms of understanding what you're trying to say, and it actually helps you write. It's that simple. And the other thing I'm very passionate about is co-authoring. And so I wanted to give a couple of tips, because some of my students, some of junior scholars, they always have this question, who should I pick? How should I co-author? I'm being approached, or I would like to co-author with person XYZ. I think it's very important to find complementary skills between the co-authors, and lots of my partnerships, they started exactly at that. So for instance, one co-author knew how to run experiments, and I could develop theory, or vice versa. Somebody would write, somebody do the data work. But that's just part of it. I think another important element is also having fun with co-authors. So really also pick the people and really get to know them as people, because you spend so much time, 3, 4, 5, 10 years on a project. And so you should also enjoy, I think, our work. And this is one way through which you can do that, is by picking co-authors you really enjoy being around. So these are just